Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast, Who Gives a About Marketing. I'm Maya.
And I'm James, and we're from Enza Digital, and we've started a podcast. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning listener, welcome back. This is not your typical why to, what to, how to. We've got really good guests coming on to our podcast to explain why you should give a about marketing.
If you're a gym owner, personal trainer, or someone who's looking to grow their memberships, this is the podcast for you. On today's episode, we have Ryan from Flex Fitness, who is going to be sharing his insights on how he grew his memberships for his gym. Welcome, Ryan, to the podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Now, we've been working closely together for over a year, and I know this already, but can you tell our listeners why you wanted to start a gym?
I've been going to gyms for 10 years, right? We went into lockdown in 2020, and it was a very challenging time for someone that's, used to training 5-6 times a week. Coming out of that experience, for some reason, something triggered inside of me. I wanted to have my own place, have my own space, somewhere that, I can not only train, but be surrounded by people that have the same motivation, have the same goals, and that drove me to think about building a gym. From there, we looked at multiple different options, different franchises, but in the end, the decision was very, very straightforward for us. Flex Fitness, as far as I'm concerned, the brand, the only New Zealand, fitness franchise, made the decision very, very easy for us to build a Flex Fitness.
Yeah. I mean, you opened the gym up during COVID. Were there any hurdles that you had when you first, bought the gym and you were setting up everything?
Multiple. We started the build there when everything was back to normal in Jan of 21, and as we started to build, we ended up going back into lockdown in August of 21, and it was very challenging. There were days where I would have to stand outside Bunnings for 3 hours to grab a packet of screws.
Yeah.
Contractors were obviously locked out of the site. In the end, I had to grab a lot of friends and family to jump in and help get the project over the line. But looking back on it, it's definitely been, a huge learning curve. And I have a lot of, you could say, sentimental value for for that club and that location now. So, it's definitely holds a very special place in my heart.
How are you kind of, generating kind of business when you first kind of opened?
The brand is very powerful. Flex have been in that Auckland space now for about 6 years. And what we found was when people actually found out that we were, building a Flex there in Manurewa, the hype that was generated did the marketing for us. We, in the end, broke the franchise record for opening.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
when Flex Manurewa opened, it opened with the largest membership of any Flex in the country at that point in time, which was very satisfying. Validated the fact that, yes, it is a great brand. People want to be part of that brand. To be honest with you, we had to do minimal marketing. Not so many challenges in terms of opening, but, with any club, once the new shine sort of mentality wears off, then you start to face challenges. Competition starts to come into the area, and that's when you got to start thinking about marketing and doing things
definitely
differently.
For listeners who don't know, like Flex's gym inside and out, like what's the difference with a Flex gym versus kind of the standard chain gyms that we have in New Zealand?
To be honest with you got to walk inside one. It's not something that you can explain to someone, unlike some of the other, most of the other brands, each Flex facility is very independent, has a lot of owner input in terms of the setup, the layout, the equipment, the graphics. So you will find that each Flex is very, very unique. Whereas some of the other clubs you'd be walking into an identical space no matter where you went to throughout the city or the country. But with Flexes, you kind of feel like, you get a different experience with each club that you go. And that's something that members have always come back to us and said, it's really cool, it's really unique. You get to also find out from members where other clubs are strong and you're weak, and where you're strong compared to other clubs. It's special.
Yeah, I still can't forget about that smoothie that I had at the Smooth Bar at Flex.
Yes.
I must have
yes.
another one again. Coming to, I guess, your membership growth, what exactly, in terms of the marketing, did you start off doing, and what improvements have you made since then?
I've been playing around with Facebook and Google Ads for 10 years with other businesses. When I did need to jump into marketing Flex there, I had some foundational knowledge which I was quite comfortable with implementing. As my time grew shorter and other commitments grew larger, I had to look at outsourcing the digital marketing. We did try a couple of different agencies. What I was looking for was someone within that marketing agency that I could work with, right? So what I didn't want or need was someone to, go and start from scratch and, do what they wanted to do. What I actually needed was someone to work with who would take on board my ideas, my knowledge. I also found that, with the previous marketing agencies, I had more experience than their own in-house team, right? So it was a little bit challenging. When I did meet Maya, I definitely found someone that I got the sense that it was more of a partnership than a case of you tell and I do. Might work for 99 out of the 100 clients who don't know anything about digital marketing. But like I said, for someone coming from a digital marketing background, like I said, I did know quite a bit about it. It's just I was lacking the technical knowledge and that time to consistently monitor, track, and enhance campaigns. And that's where I guess you could say I found a sweet spot with NZ Digital.
Yeah, I think that's what you need in a partnership, right? It's like a marriage. You need to be aligned on both sides, and with your background in marketing and obviously the vision to increase memberships, through Google Meta, Google and Facebook. You've had some great results with Maya. Yes, that's it.
You heard it here first, guys. And so I guess coming back to like the marketing that we've done, imagine if we didn't integrate any of the paid marketing, where would you be sitting right now with the gym and the memberships?
Probably a solid 20% below. Yeah, I'd attribute a solid 20% of our growth with paid advertising. Like I said, the brand presence is strong, but at the end of the day, if you're not consistently at the forefront of people's minds, you can get left behind. Yeah, the paid advertising, consistent Google My Business updates, the whole marketing strategy as a whole has definitely seen us grow a solid 20%. I would classify as a short period of time.
And what were the things that worked and what didn't? What were the things we failed at?
Plenty. The early stages there were very challenging. NZ Digital didn't have a background in gyms. That was one of the first questions that I had put through to Adam when I first met Adam, who came down to Flex Fitness, and we sat down and we had a chat. And I said, have you guys marketed gyms before? He was very honest with me. He said no, and I said, that doesn't matter. Going back to what I said before, I was looking for a partnership. I wasn't looking for an overnight miracle. I was looking for either someone or a group of people that I could work with, grow together, develop together, learn together, make mistakes together. So yes, to answer your question, Maya, we did make a lot of mistakes, but from mistakes you learn. Definitely. And that's how you get better. There's not a lot of people that achieve success on day one. But looking back at the journey now, my knowledge is definitely more than it was 12 months ago. I believe your knowledge is more than it was 12 months ago, and we can only do that from testing, Google Meta consistently making changes to the platform. There's no overnight fix. It is a consistent work in progress.
Yeah, and with the membership side, have you had certain months where that really grows? There kind of seasons or are they peaks where you're gaining more memberships at the gyms?
Yeah, look, gyms are very seasonal. Any club in the country will testify to the same. Summers, New Year's, everyone's looking to
New year, new me.
Pretty much kick back into it, and then as winter rolls around, people do find it more challenging to get to the club. These are some things that we've taken into account. Even having temperature control system, where you're walking into a perfect 18 degrees club, where a lot of clubs, they don't have that. It's freezing cold. No one really wants to be there. So look, these are things that we've taken on feedback from our members and implemented. And yeah, look, touch wood, we're heading into winter now, but I believe we've got the not only the marketing strategy there, but the whole package to make it very, very difficult to walk away from.
It's definitely bulk season right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eat as much as you can, then the summer comes around and shred it back off. Yeah.
And then I guess what's the impact marketing has done for overall membership growth?
Like I mentioned before, they're a solid 20%. But it's not just the numbers, right? It's not just the numbers. It's not necessarily, the growth in numbers where, as a club owner, I have got the most satisfaction from. It's the renewed energy. Having a club that's, you could say, under capacity, you lose that vibrance, you lose that energy, and having the club busy again, seeing people just coming in and out, it's vibrant, it's high energy, and it's for a club owner, it's very motivating. You wanna put more time in, you wanna put more energy in, and I'd probably say, apart from, I guess, the financial aspect of increasing a membership for a club, there are multiple other benefits as well.
Yeah, I always see a gym as like a community. Like each gym you go to is so different. You walk into a new gym, it takes you a while to figure it out. But then there's some gyms you walk into and you apart from trying to find out where the bench press is and trying to find out where the equipment is, you kind of know when it's the right gym for you. I've tried a few gyms in my past and I've walked in and you don't really get the right, or the right induction as well. Straight, I think the people on the front desk, the people you meet straight away, and how you kind of, go through that process from inquiring to, having that phone call or consultation, then, being walked through the gym, and then you kind of, get a good feel for it. And I mean, it leads me on to my next question, actually. I mean, when you have your, your leads come through, what does that process look like? Lead comes in, do you have a sales team that picks that up? And what's the process for you managing that?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't say it's anything out of the norm, right? You have leads come through. You want to contact them in a very timely manner and try and connect with them, over the phone.
Build a relationship with
absolutely,
them, and
absolutely.
Not just take the quick win.
Exactly.
Bring them in as a like a partnership.
Exactly. And what we're finding is that our lead to tour ratio has increased significantly, because unlike other clubs who basically contact a lead and when do you want to come in sort of thing, we're focusing more on what is it exactly that you're looking for?
The goals, what the purpose is, how can we help you with that?
Are we the right fit?
Yeah, definitely.
And when you ask someone, that question, are we the right fit for you? You know, they start to think, hang on, maybe maybe they're not trying to sell me
And
something.
you're taking time to understand them.
Correct.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
just bring them in as another number. Because
Correct.
if you have a gym full of numbers and not
Correct.
people like humans and people you can connect on a personal level, then again, going back to what you're saying, the experience for you isn't as as deep.
Correct.
Because you
Correct.
don't know who's coming in and going out.
Correct. And, we're finding that our team are also connecting on a much deeper level because, we're having people arrive at our doorfront who we've already built a relationship and already built a connection with. And that just leads to a much more enjoyable experience for the, for the prospect and the team.
Yeah, and I guess that leads again to more word of mouth, more referrals, as well as then with your your paid advertising that you see. Then there'll be you've got all eyes and then all ears. Once they see your ad and they've heard from someone,
Absolutely.
it's a no-brainer to come and meet you.
Absolutely, and I'm sure every gym owner would say exactly the same. The most satisfying sale is a referral, right? Unlike a paid ad, lead generation, a referral tells you that you're doing things right? Where other members are, sending family and friends over to, be part of the club, and from our owner's perspective, that, signifies that, hey, we are doing things right. That doesn't mean you can't do things better, but, we are doing things right, that members are, confident enough to send their friends and family to be part of the club as well. So that is something we look at very, very closely on a monthly basis. And I'm very, very pleased to announce that our referral volume is up there. So that tells me that we're heading in the right direction. We're doing the right things as a team, as an organization, as a brand. So that is very, very satisfying.
Yeah, that's great, and yeah, that's I think in any business
Yeah,
sense,
that's
referrals are
yeah.
where you get the most joy, especially
Yes.
on our side as well. Confirms you're doing the right job,
Correct.
and
Yeah.
you're working with the right people as
Correct.
well.
Correct.
And why is it important to test and learn creatives, targeting, messaging for overall, membership growth?
Right. Tough question. Something that maybe people, who are not so in the know with digital marketing would understand. 25% of the posts that we see now on Meta are paid adverts, right? So your fingers scrolling over your phone faster than ever, right? In any social platform now is absolutely flooded, right? With advertising, and unless you can continue to test different creatives, you're not going to know, one, what actually works, and two, where your dollar is best spent, right? You could assume that a creative is going to do well. Maybe it was a fantastic video that you put together or a fantastic image that a graphic designer put together. That doesn't necessarily mean the data is going to come back and say that, hey, this is what people are clicking on, this is what people are engaging with, right? And the only way you can get over that hurdle is by consistently testing, right? Once you test, you find. Once you find, you scale. And unless you consistently follow that process, you are, basically going to be, throwing money down the drain,
Yeah.
which I've done plenty of.
What kind of ad did you think that would do really well, but it didn't, or one that you didn't think would do really well and it did?
Great question. Look, I've tested, so many adverts, creatives that, are stock, stock creatives that on the face of it appear to be, very, very high impact, might not necessarily deliver the results that you may assume that they could. What we have found, especially over the last few months, once again with Meta being so flooded now with the adverts, um, real people telling a real story, whether a real result. But we're definitely finding that real life images used for creatives, and even if you're whacking on a bunch of text on top of those images, seem to be connecting with the market probably more significantly than say 24 months ago, 36 months ago, where stock creatives probably would have been sufficient. But now people are going to have to go out of their way and try and get those creatives with whatever business that they're doing, not just a gym in particular. But I think people want to see real images,
I
real
agree.
people, real
Yeah.
products.
The
Yeah.
market's always changing, and right now, videos are popular. People love seeing the face to the brand in using real people, and we've found that with the ads that we've got, showing the warm community of your, the people of your actual gym, has helped really boost your growth of memberships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. People see themselves in other people, right? So when they see an advert and immediately connect and say, hey, that could be me, that looks like me. Well, those are the people that you'll find that will, convert and convert the right way.
Yeah, I think you've got to be authentic
Mm.
in what you do, and if you're not, people do see through it, because you want
Absolutely.
to put your money where actually you're going to feel like it's going to be valuable. If you see stock, to draw people in, you may have seen that person, on the street or whatever it may
Yeah.
be, or it may be someone that so you already instantly connect, like you say, with those people. If it's people that that clearly aren't probably in the country, or they're
Yeah.
not at their gym, they may be using different equipment, and then you go into the gym and it's got something completely different. You kind of lose that trust across, not just the branch or the gym, sorry, that you look after, but it could be across the whole brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, with gyms, each location's different. Different demographics. So you might find that certain images of certain demographics might not work in one location,
Yeah.
which
Certain
could
messaging as well.
correct, which could work in another location. That is something we always work very closely with head office with, in terms of ensuring that we do cover the whole market and all demographics. And but looking at a certain area where it could be located, and you definitely want to get that mix and that messaging right.
Yeah, definitely. And Ryan, you've obviously been doing, this marketing side for about 10 years as well. You must have some tips and tricks for people to, to take away.
Well, that really puts me on the spot, doesn't it? Look, I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said testing. Testing is big. I think a lot of business owners' mindset is a case that hey, I'm going to spend X, Y, Z, and I'm going to get ROI. It's not necessarily the case. To answer your question, you need to have an open mind. You need to have an open mind. You need to be willing to try new things consistently. Even something that worked today might not necessarily work in 4 weeks' time. So there's no one fits all solution here, right? You have to consistently move with the times. You have to consistently develop your messaging, your creative, what your brand represents. And yeah, like I guess that's something that I can say has worked for us. I believe that would work for any business. If you're consistently looking at how you can do things better, how you can improve your messaging, will definitely see results for everyone.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, going back to your kind of trialing testing, I think again, probably on that, you need to be patient as well. Have you seen, have you been in a point where, you're like, you just want to get things through the door, you're going through that lull, but, you kind of got to check yourself and realize that, because there's people probably starting out who are listening who, are doing meta ads or, trying to break through their memberships.
I can tell you this is probably the most difficult time for a new advertiser to enter the market, right? I believe working with a digital marketing agency at this point in time is probably the smartest decision. Someone trying to run their own ads in this market, which is, like I mentioned before, is very, very flooded, is to be honest with you, is almost a failure waiting to happen, right? We're in an environment now where unless you really know what you're doing, you are going to waste funds. So you want to make sure that you structure your adverts correctly. You want to make sure that while you're in that test phase, you're not overcommitting, right? And the moment you do find something that works for you, you want to look at scaling that the right way, in the right time frame. But definitely, you as a business owner in this market, you need to really have a deep think if that is something that you want to get into, or are you better off just working with people who know what they're doing?
Yeah, definitely. I think on that as well, are you running organic as well? Is that something that you look after yourself?
Yes. The local Google My Business page is something that for gyms in particular are definitely something you want to keep up to date. You don't want to get you don't want to seem old and dated. So consistent updates there on the Google page is very, very important. I would say for any localized business that is not relying on traffic, say greater than a 5-kilometer radius, that localized marketing is I would say as critical as paid advertising.
And what are these updates? Are these photos, reviews?
All photos, reviews, replying to reviews, and yeah, we're consistently posting videos, so people get the sense of a deep sense of what the product is before they've even arrived to your brick and mortar location. So they get a sense, hey, I know this place. I've seen so much content. Unlike paid advertising, where it is mentioned that it's sponsored and can be manipulated with Google My Business. I guess the perception there from from a prospect's point of view is it's very authentic, it's original. Those are real people in a real location, and they do seem to connect a lot better with that.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you, Ryan. It's been really, insightful for me to learn, and us and everyone who's listening, more about how you've kind of utilized, paid advertising to grow memberships. It's been really fantastic. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And thank you everyone for listening to the end. We hope you enjoyed our conversation. I definitely learned some stuff there. And if you want to listen and watch more of the podcast, make sure you follow and subscribe to the channel.